Hello there! So we are on a passage from Vanuatu to Papua New Guinea. We have plenty of time, beautiful background, and we decided to make a video. For people who are planning to come over on a boat, if you're coming on Aquarius, it's gonna be a must watch. But I think it's also a good thing to understand certain things. So when we purchased a boat, we were thinking that our best friends will be coming over to exotic locations and joining us. You know, the pictures that you see in the boat or charter advertisers, a boat with a bunch of people. So that was kind of expectations, and there are part of truth in that. So the reality is that our friends work hard, and sometimes they don't take that many vacations, and when they do, they probably want just to relax rather than travel to some far extreme exotic locations to seek for the thrills. And so it happens that less known friends or purely acquaintances express some desire to join us on a boat, which is nice too. But here are some misunderstandings, and I hope I will clear it up a little bit better with this video. So, number one, we are not rich. We worked hard, we budgeted, we didn't even have a TV or cable for the past 10 years, and no Starbucks coffee on a daily basis. So we really budget to allow us to live this life, and the way you live this life, you know, it's none of our business. But when you come on our boat, it's kind of like we still need to be within the budget. It doesn't matter for us. So we are not rich. We are not from wealthy families, with influential people. No, we are both from fairly developed countries. We were lucky that we were born there with fairly good health, and at the time then there was no war. But other than that, we are from middle class divorced families. We both paid for our education. Well, I got a scholarship, but we made our way. You know, it's nothing that we won a lotto or had the wealthy families. We just really budget, and this allows us to live this lifestyle and also to come join us and to reap the benefits together with us, what it allows us to do. So that was one thing to clear out. Number two, it's a vacation for you, and it's just a day in the life for us. So of course, when you come on vacation, for you it's normal to splurge a little bit more money, maybe for dinners, maybe for some fun stuff, for food, for drinks. But for us, it's just a day in life. Yes, it's nice to have a great company. We're always looking forward to. But we're still within our budget, and so is our boat. Now let's talk about the boat. Our boat, especially if we talk about offshore boats, not the ones that cruise only by the shore, it's like a floating city. We make our own water, we manage our own electricity, we deal with our waste, we deal with our repairs, and so many things. Not only that, it's so complex, it also, a lot of parts are extremely expensive, because they have to be very good quality, like stainless steel. It has to be the highest grade, and it's never cheap. The other thing, if you are in one of the exotic locations, those expensive parts becomes twice or 3 times more expensive if you have to ship them, and it gets complicated. So we do carry some spare parts on the boat, but we can't have everything. And again, even if we have to carry spare parts, they still come out of our pocket. So in a boat, be careful with what you do, because any repairs is complicated, very pricey, and never easy. That's one thing. And when we ask you to consume or do certain things one certain way, there is a reason why. We might not always take the time to explain why, but there is definitely a reason. For example, at home, it takes 2 seconds to press a flush button on the toilet, and here, because the pipes are long and use salt water that needs more time to clear up, it takes about 10 seconds to push the button. And yes, that's what it takes on Aquarius. On some boats, it's even more different than that. Also, we live together very comfortably on Aquarius. We don't need a crew. We never hired a crew just because we needed it. It's usually if somebody wants to join us for vacation. But it became for us normal to kind of like live normal life, but also conserve, like water, like electricity, and devices that need to be charged. So it's a second nature for us. But when there is 2 more or even 1 more person, even us, we have to kind of like conserve a little bit more, because just because we got more people on a boat, our solar panels does not expand, our water maker capacity does not expand, our batteries does not expand, and certain things, when overused, for example batteries, they might not fail the day when it's overused, but it dramatically affects the lifetime, the usage of the battery. And just a quick number to replace the batteries on Aquarius, just the batteries is $3,800, and plus they are heavy, so shipping and installation throw another $1,000. And yeah, we're talking about big numbers, and you might not see it right away, but if you ask to do certain things, there's definitely a reason why we ask you to do so. Also, conserving water. We have a water maker. It makes about 50 to 60 liters an hour. If we have a sunny day, it's easy. We can use energy, solar energy, to make water, but most likely we will have to use a generator, so burn the diesel to make more water. And it's still, you know, we always take showers. We encourage our guests to take showers, but when we swim in the ocean, every time you jump in the water, you want to get the freshwater shower. That counts too. No, it's not only the way you take a showers. For example, you make yourself all wet, you soap up, you lather yourself, and then you stop the water while you do that, and at the end you rinse yourself off. Or how you wash dishes. All of these things do affect our life on a boat, and I know it sucks. Since you're on vacation, you're not used to use the water considerably, but this is how it is on our boat. And you know, if it doesn't work with you, there are charter boats, which all these costs are already included, and they cost at minimum $3,000 for 1 week. No fuel, no food, no captain, no crew included. So if conserving water, electricity, and all the other things is not your thing, I guess being on Aquarius is not your thing. Other thing, so we have expenses like everybody else, and the most common expenses are when the crew or guests coming over is a food. We eat very little meat, so our main dish is really not that expensive, but the snacks, alcohol, all nuts and chips, those do become expensive, and we like to stock up on them because they are expensive. And when we travel through the country, some places either don't have them, or if they do have them, the price might be even as high as triple. We do stock up, and when our guests come over, they open the cabinet, they see the cabinet full of these goodies, and you know, it's kind of like, oh, it's easy, it's right there, it's kind of for free. And it's not for free, it comes up our pockets, and it's really a lot of work comes in there. For in our boat life, there's no such a thing. Okay, you know, I'll stop on the way home and buy something in a grocery store. It's never like that. Number one, most of the time we don't have a car. Then we have to find a store where with a decent prices, and if they have what we're looking for, because some stores they don't have. Number two, we buy in bulk. So we stock up, and then we have to take a cab, bring everything to the boat, and hope that the weather is good, it's not raining, it's not choppy, super strong wind, so we don't have to make it into Ironman challenge sort of thing. So it never comes easy, it never comes free on Aquarius. It always comes with a lot of effort and with considerable amount of money. And you know, when we stock up, we expect that certain things will last for months. So we really appreciate that if you find certain things on Aquarius that you like, that you would buy it back after you use it, or restock it back. So the same thing is with alcohol. We might not drink that much alcohol, but alcohol is good to pay for the favors when you look for certain services, and you know, the currency might be not the only thing. So yes, we do stock up on drinks as well, and they come pricey as well. So that's kind of one part of the food. The second part of the food is with all the diets, I agree, you know, many times it's a health issue, other times it's preferences, and so many different things, and I understand you prefer certain foods. But on Aquarius we have a 2-burner stove, and as a rule the propane for gas, it's fairly cheap, but getting it's very complicated. For example, in New Zealand they wouldn't even refill most of the gas tanks, so you have to buy another gas tank for $200 or $300 to meet their local requirements. And usually you always have to get a cab, get someplace to the factory or whatever. So refilling propane, it's pain in the butt. But as you come over here and start cooking fancy foods, and maybe even prefer to have 2 different dishes for different diets, it's a burden for us. And you know, the kitchen is small, we don't want to spend too much time in there. So please consider that maybe sometimes this is not the best time on a boat. When we go to the restaurants, feel free, whatever you like. But on a boat, it's another burden for us. So let me see what else I want to talk. So what class do we expect you to participate in? Very often when the guests come over, it's required some time for them to get used to the motion of the boat, and well, because of the luggages, it's way more convenient for us to get to Marina, especially if we have to rent a car and go someplace into the other city. We definitely want to make sure that the Aquarius is somewhere safe, not just in a regular anchorage. So we would like you to participate in Marina's cost. If, for example, it's 2 of us and 2 of you, we would expect to share Marina cost 50-50. So it's a mooring ball, which sometimes is $15 to $20 US. We would like you to pitch in if we have to motor a lot, of course. Food, snacks, alcohol, whatever you drink, whatever you like to drink. Those are main costs, and to be fair, we never ever made any profit of our guests, ever. So we won't expect to make any profit from you. Although, you know, just imagine you have guests who come minimum for 2 weeks. They're in your house, and you do as a host, Airbnb, a taxi driver, because there's no such a thing that you can take a taxi from the boat. We usually have to take you with a dinghy. And we also work as entertainers and all this kind of thing. So yes, if we traveling someplace and we rent a car, we expect you to pitch in with share the car costs and what other costs. If you're traveling with us and arriving into new country, if there is a fee per person for arrival in a country, that would be your share to cover. Well, what other costs do we have? Oh, if you break something, we do expect you to pitch in and cover that cost, but hopefully we will avoid that if you listen to our suggestions how the boat operates. You shouldn't be able, I mean, Aquarius in a great shape. It's a great boat to start with and nothing breaks easily, but it's just like a house. Things do break, especially if you use them improperly. So those are basically the costs. Altogether, we had some great, amazing guests. We have our favorite guests who are coming back, and they are very welcome to come back. But for people who we know less and they are more acquaintances and friends, we would like to ask for a couple $100 deposit. I think they are more responsible then when they know that there is money at the end of the line. And again, we're not planning to make any profit from our guests. We just want people to respect this boat, what we ask them to do, and keep in mind that everything comes at a cost. So what you can do when you come on a boat, especially on Aquarius: number one, bring your good mood. We are here to have fun. 2, bring your food, snacks, drinks, or buy them when we go grocery shopping. 3, clean after yourself. We already have some things that we taking care of and we don't expect you to take care of, like sailing part, navigation part. We don't expect you to do any of this, but please do clean up after yourself. And 3, while we're doing all these things, and we always have some things to do, run maintenance around the boat, you can also look up online and suggest what kind of fun we could do while we going ashore. So that is always very welcome, and you know, you get the most of your vacation. We save some time so we don't have to Google up and like try to please you and keep offering you different sort of things. So, and offer us to help or offer us to pitch in. You know, we provide you for those 2 weeks accommodation the best we can. We provide you transportation between the islands, sometimes between the countries. We don't provide you airfare. That's not in our budget. But be considerate, be grateful at least. You know, a couple times happens for us that we ended up with empty food and alcohol storage, pile of linens and towels to wash, and bad feelings, you know, because somebody had different expectations. But you know, this is not the charter boat. We can't provide the things that somebody might expect without paying for the charter boat. So I hope this helps you to understand where we come from, asking you to do certain things certain way, and hopefully this will help other guests on the boat, boat owners, and people who don't have much to do in common with boats to understand how we live. I hope this helps. Cheers, and see you on Aquarius. If you like this video, give us a like down below and click here to subscribe. That really helps us. And if you want to watch more of us, click one of those.
They said it came from Spanish.